What do you think is the most critical mental health issue in the restaurant industry?
Addiction in multiple forms.
So you're not the first person to tell me that. Why do you think addiction is the number one issue?
Because there's plenty of substances that can ease one's mind. And while working in the restaurant industry, people love to get under your skin and love to aggravate you. So people, rather than taking a deep breath or drinking water, tend to veer towards substances.
So slightly, you're kind of saying people self-medicate with substances.
People self-medicate in the restaurant industry primarily with alcohol and nicotine, whether it be some kind of vaping device, cigarettes, some kind of chewing tobacco, just anything that gives you a little head rush but still is letting you do your job.
Still function.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that because of the lack of healthcare in our society as well as within the community, because restaurants can't afford to give their employees healthcare, affects that by not having enough resources for an employee to then go see a mental health professional?
I don't think directly, just because the person working in the restaurant industry is not thinking that they have a problem. They're just thinking that, oh, it's the end of the shift. Let's have our end of the shift 2, 3, 4, 5 beers. Let's have our 10 cigarettes. Let's go drink with our buddies, and then let's do it all over again tomorrow. We don't have a problem. It's just the end of the shift. It's just a routine.
Do you think if someone you work in the front of house, which is a waiter, but do you think in the kitchen or upstairs people would be made fun of if they had to do that?
I don't think so. I don't think that that's something that could openly be spoken about. If that's their decision, it's their day off, or that's their decision. Ultimately, if they want to go see if they want to go see somebody for help, that's their own decision. They don't need to come to work and tell everybody about it.
But what if they also say they don't want to drink anymore, and they've been known in the past to have a staff drink at the end of the night with everybody else?
I don't think they would be made fun of. I think there might be slight teasing, but teasing out of love.
A little ostracization?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bullying.
Well, what do you think is the most critical mental health issue in the community?
Alcoholism?
Alright, I agree. That was why I asked you to talk about this today. But realistically, actually, do you think it's because alcohol is so easily available, or do you think it's the stress of the job that makes alcohol so common here?
Probably the stress of the job. Or kind of both.
Okay. I mean, how many bosses have you had, or have people heard talk about their boss being an alcoholic?
Not that many.
Not that many?
It's usually the workers that are.
It's the workers. Does anyone ever do anything about a worker that everyone knows is an alcoholic?
Yeah, sometimes. When you find out someone had an eighth of vodka in their pocket before they came to the job, and they're supposed to be washing dishes, but they're leaning up against a pole and just wiping noodles off their big bloated belly. And you're this guy should probably go home, he might hurt somebody in the kitchen.
But, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a pretty common thing to have a drink at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, totally. Shift drink.
Shift drink. And that shift drink could be hard alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what your boss would like, yeah. Most of the time you just get half off, only one drink.
Does anyone ever get reprimanded for not getting a shift drink, made fun of?
Yeah, I make fun of people all the time.
Do you think peer-to-peer employees would be willing to help each other if they came to you? Or do you think there's too much of a stigma in the kitchen about being a masculine man?
Sometimes not. Usually people come to me, it's because we're drinking together, so it's usually a double-edged sword when it comes to that type of shit.
And then because restaurants are usually running on such a small margin, no one ever gets health insurance.
No one ever gets health insurance.
Yeah, so you
can't
think
afford health insurance.
Yeah. So you think that also would affect?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
People people like fall back into self medication,
Yeah.
and the easiest way is a bottle.